All right, so I'm going to give my thoughts on ETH here. We'll focus mainly on the chart, but before we jump into the chart and all these support and resistance levels, want to just talk about two news items. One being that PayPal launched a stable coin today on the Ethereum blockchain. That's or announced rather that they're launching a stable coin. Should be super bullish. Price action is not really moving, but in general, I think it indicates shifting sentiment in the regulatory environment, right? If PayPal is comfortable enough to launch a stablecoin, that should tell you what you need to know about the regulatory environment, maybe shifting more in favor towards crypto. Outside of that, we have a lot of FUD around Tether right now. It's difficult to know whether or not to take that seriously. Of course, it's always pertinent to take it seriously in the sense you want to keep an eye on it, but I don't necessarily think it's time to be selling everything and going fully defensive. There are some ways to hedge against a Tether depeg in some lending markets, and you can short Tether or whatever. But yeah, I think this is predominantly the two news items that may move markets. Markets have been very low volatility, low volume recently, but jumping into the price action here, we have breached our 21-week simple moving average, which is generally going to be bearish. However, the last couple of times for Ethereum, we've seen subsequent recoveries and pumps off of those recoveries. Meanwhile, the last two dips for Bitcoin have been right on the 21-week simple moving average. So Bitcoin, I'll flash over to Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin is approaching quickly its 21-week simple moving average, right? So historically, or at least the last couple of times, we've gotten pretty strong reactions and strong bounces for Bitcoin and the rest of the market there. So moving back to ETH, I've got kind of a heat map of support and resistance levels here. These are all just manually put in, finding all the support and resistance levels using our various indicators. We're going to zoom in just on the margin pressure levels for this video. So I'm going to throw those long margin pressure levels on. You're going to see you have really strong support at around 1763, right? So I don't hate the idea of taking this kind of just basic trend line trade as we move into this zone of support. And if we can just break down below all of this support, then just cutting it pretty early and looking to actually re-enter maybe around 1763 or so. That's previously where we've held, and that's where you can start going long, and the market can start going long on 2x long leverage. Amplifying their capital or amplifying their buying power by 2x while maintaining a liquidation point below our bear market low. So I don't really foresee Ethereum crashing below 1763. I will change my bias to be a little bit more bearish and short if we do crash below 1750. We lose that level, then yeah, we'll start looking for some shorts and we'll start targeting lower down, and we'll look for a rotation potentially as low as 12 or 1300, right? And then we would kind of have this horizontal range that we want to keep in mind and we target. But until we actually breach this trend line, until we actually breach 1750 or 1763 or so, I'm actually going to still be looking for longs. The same thing, same logic applies to the Bitcoin chart right now. We're still in an uptrend. So long as we hold the uptrend, hold the key support levels, I'm going to be long biased, right? I don't think it's too wise to be trading against the trend, especially in a bullish trend. If we move these margin pressure levels up to kind of our SVB collapse low here around 1368, you're actually going to see where we're holding support right now. It's because you can start going long, or the market can start going long on 4x long leverage once price drops below 1824. And you've seen this hold multiple times now. And we've gotten pretty strong reactions, right? Once we broke through this level, it was resistance, right? We broke through it, held support multiple times. We had our deviation, and then we had our Gary Gensler attack on crypto and suing Binance and Coinbase or whatever. But once we recovered this level, held it as support, we got some strong reactions off of it, right? So I do think in general, this whole strip of support down here, all the way down to around 750 is a decent place to be looking for some longs and just have some tight invalidations, right? We lose the trend, we get invalidated, cool. We'll just look for 1750, maybe 1710, but I'd be more inclined to look for 1750. And yeah, again, if we break that, we're targeting lower. And our next strip down here is 1600 or so, a little bit over 1600. We'll target that, look for some bounces. But right now, we are towards the bottom of just this general range here. We've got this a ton of volume coming in between low 1800s and around mid 1900s, 1950. We also have our general kind of triangle pattern here that we are nearing the bottom of. I think it's time to start looking for some long trades. How you structure those, it's totally up to you. Again, tight stop losses, you get invalidated, just jump right out, stop yourself right out. Not financial advice, obviously. Otherwise, if you get stopped out and it revalidates, we just look to get right back into the trade, right? It revalidates this level right back into the trade, and then you just see some gaps in support and resistance, right? You have one around 1880, and then the next one up's around 1950. So that's the target here. Just looking for a reaction or rotation back up to the top of the bulk of this range. Not getting too fancy, not getting too cute, trying to look for above 2000 or anything like that. Just looking for where the bulk of the price action here has been. Maybe we get a little dip below this down to the trend line. Regardless, that's what I'm looking for. Just some reaction back up to the top of the range. I don't think that's too crazy. I know there's some FUD going around. There's also some good news with PayPal launching their stablecoin or announcing their stablecoin. But in general, I think this is a completely reasonable trade to make here. Obviously, in the last couple of weeks, we've just been in this slow bleed. Last 24 days or so, and it's tough, to not have recency bias and to not. It's uncomfortable to look for longs when it's just been kind of a slow bleed out and low volume and everyone's kind of scared and on edge. But note that we have tons of support down here. We have tons of support. So chances are, even if we do start falling and bleeding through, you can stop yourself out, or you can very likely get out close to break even on any type of trade like this. If you're looking for something a little bit a better risk reward, maybe look for that what was it? I think it was like 780 or so margin pressure level. That would be a little bit lower, but again, I don't know if I love that, just because then we've broken our trend line, which isn't a big deal, but I prefer to look for more intact trend lines to be trading. So that's just my thoughts on ETH. Generally going to be looking for longs in this market so long as Bitcoin and Ethereum are still in a macro uptrend from their bear market bottom. So guys, thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, follow. If you want access to the indicators that I use in this video and all my other videos, go check out the indicators bundle. These are the indicators I recently put out a Shiba Inu trade. I'll put out a separate video kind of recapping that trade. But guys, 30 grand on a single trade using these indicators. These are what I trade with. And then also you can get access to them if you sign up for the research hub. $49 a month. You also get access to the indicators bundle, but you also get research sent directly to your inbox, and you get access to the research hub on the website where we post all of our research and our plays, the opportunities that we identify in the market. You get airdrop guides, Arbitrum, that was like 5 to 10K per wallet. The whole goal for the airdrop guide section is to help you just pay the subscription cost and basically offset it so you can free roll this service. Trading view chart templates. There's all sorts of great stuff in here for your enjoyment. Also, check out the professional group. We meet weekly, 5 p.m. Eastern time in Discord. Other than that, thanks so much for tuning in. Last thing is there are some links in the description below for various exchanges. BTCC if you're located in the US, Bybit if you're not located in the US. Otherwise, I hope everyone has a great week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Peace.